Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So our given question is y equal to 1 minus 2 to the power x. Okay. So the given function is y equal to 1 minus 2 to the power x. What we need to do? We have to consider let y equal to f of x is equal to 1 minus 2 to the power x. So from here, at first, what we need to do? We will deal with this first two parts, y equal to f of x. Now from here, if I bring f on this side, it will be f inverse y equal to x, right? So let me tell you that whenever they are asking you to find the inverse function, what actually you need to find out? Because you will be given f of x, you have to find out f inverse x. So that is called inverse function. So we need to find the value of this f inverse x. How we can do that? Now we will deal with y and this part. Y is equal to 1 minus 2 to the power x. Please remember, at first we proceeded with this first two part, then first and third part here. So from here, what is our target? If you remember, our target is to find the value of x from here. So to do that, 2 to the power x, I will bring on this side, it will become plus 2 to the power x, and y, it will go to that side, 1 minus y. Now from here, what we can write? Okay, so please remember log, a y equal to x. If we have a line like this, what we can write? Y to the a to the power x, right? A to the power x is equal to y. We can write this. Now we have this line here. We have a similar situation here. From here, how I can go back to that line? So please remember, whatever we have as a base, it will be এই যে 2 টা বেস হিসেবে আছে তাই না, log 2 বেস। দেখো তো এটা এই যে log এর পায়ের কাছে, দেন ইকুয়াল টু ওই সাইডে যেটা আছে সেটা এখানে log এর পাশে বসবে। তো ইকুয়াল টু যেটা আছে সেটা আমি log এর পাশে লিখলাম, দেন ইকুয়াল টু এই যে এর উপরে যেটা পাওয়ার সেটা ইকুয়ালের ওই সাইডে বসে। তো এই যে 2 এর উপরে যেটা পাওয়ার এটা ইকুয়ালের ওই দিকে বসবে। So can I write this according to this one? We have this line, we want to go back to that line. So if you take the help of this, then I guess it will be very easy for you to write. Okay. Acha. So we have found the value of x. Now what we will do? We will replace what is x is equal to, we already found out f inverse y, right? So we can write f inverse y is equal to log 2 base 1 minus y. Now as we have f inverse y, that is not our target to find out. Our target is to f inverse x. So we will write f inverse x will be equal to y এর জায়গায় x বসাইতে হবে। So log 2 base 1 minus x. So this is our inverse function. Okay. Anybody have any doubt? Any line you didn't understand? All you need to do is practice. Okay. If you practice, then inshallah you will not forget. Because it's easy to understand but a little bit hard to remember, so that is why practice is needed. Okay, so now I have found out the inverse function. Then what they told us to calculate, sketch the graph and mention the domain and range. So how we can do that? Let us see. Okay. So to draw the graph, we know that range, how to find out the range? From the graph, we can find out the range. That is one way that I have already taught, that from graph, we will see how the value of y is restricted. Okay. But if I want to find it, with mathematical calculation, then from inverse function, we can find out the range of the original function. Remember, let me write it in this way. Range of original function. This is what we need to calculate. Now this is equal to domain of inverse function. Okay, this is what I told you, I guess, at the end of the previous class, that if you find out the range of the original function, if you want to find out the range of the original function, you have to find out the domain of the inverse function. Now you can see that we have the inverse function here, right? If I can find out the domain of this function, then I can say that that is the range of this function. Okay. Domain we already know how to find out, but today we are learning how to find out the range. So to find out the range, we have to take the help of domain again. Okay. So now in case of log, this one, this inverse function, we have this inverse function over here, log 2 base 1 minus x. We have to find out the domain of it. Okay. So we already know that how to find out the domain of logarithmic function. Whatever we have here, that one has to be greater than 0. Correct or not? Because logarithm is only defined for positive values. Positive means greater than 0. So from here, what I can write? 1 minus x plus x. I added x on both the sides. So I will get 1 greater than x. So this one can be written as x not greater than, x will be less than. If I x so x less than 1. So the domain will be like this. Domain is equal to x can be any real number, no problem. Okay. So, I must write that this is the domain of inverse function. Okay. Domain of inverse function. So, such that x is less than 1. Okay, so if this is the domain of inverse function, I can say that this is the range of the original function. So from here I can write range of the original function is f of x, right? Range of f of x is this one, x inverse r x less than 1. Okay, so we have already learned all the things that they have asked here. See, read question number 9. Write down the inverse function in each case. We know how to find out the inverse function. Done. Then mention the domain and range. In the last class, we learned how to find out the domain, and today we learned how to find out the range of a function. And then sketch the graph. How to sketch the graph? You already know. Okay, you have to form a table. Take the value of x and then find the value of corresponding y. Then plot them in the graph and connect them. You will get your graph. Okay, and try to take as much point as possible to get a smooth curve. Okay, if the points are far, then it will be difficult for you to join. Okay, it will be difficult for you to understand that what will be the pattern, whether it should be a little bit more curvy or not. So as more point you take, the more clear it will be that how the graph should be. Okay, আচ্ছা, তো 9 এর 1 করে দিছি, তোমাদের হোমওয়ার্ক হচ্ছে 2 or 3 করবা. If there is any difficulty, if there is any problem, then you may let me know, inshallah. Okay, so now let us move to question number 10. In question number 10, they are asking determine f of x is equal to ln x minus 2 functions domain and range. Should I solve this? You already know how to find out the domain, you already know how to find out the range. So can you try it on your own, inshallah? Okay, Fatima, what do you say?
Inshallah.
কারো যদি মনে হয় যে আরেকটা করে দেখাই দিলে ভালো হবে, তাহলে আমাকে বলতে পারো, অসুবিধা নেই। নাম্বার 10 এর মধ্যে থেকে না 10 অথবা 11 পর্যন্ত দুটোটা সেম তাই না? হ্যাঁ, এই যে দুটোটারই বলছে ফাংশন ডোমেন এন্ড রেঞ্জ বের করতে। 11 নাম্বারটা তো একদম হুবহু কত ক্লাসে যেটা করছি সেটা মনে আছে? ওই যে 5 + x / 5 - x একটা করছিলাম, যেখানে ফ্র্যাকশন ওই যে উপরে পজিটিভ নিচে পজিটিভ হইলে আমরা পজিটিভ পাবো, উপরে নেগেটিভ নিচে নেগেটিভ হইলে আমরা পজিটিভ পাবো। মনে আছে একটা করাইছিলাম? ওইটা হুবহু। তো 11 নাম্বারটা অন্তত আশা করি লাস্ট ক্লাসের লেকচারটা ফলো করলে ইনশাআল্লাহ পেরে যাবা। আর 10 নাম্বারটা আমি চাচ্ছি তোমরা ট্রাই করো, বাট স্টিল দেখো ট্রাই করো, না পারলে ইনশাআল্লাহ আমি করে দিব, ঠিক আছে? inshallah. Okay, let us discuss now 12 number, because this is something new. See, in this 9.2 exercise we are learning three types of function. Okay, we are learning about three types of function. Number one, already we have learned exponential function. Number two, we have learned logarithmic function. Now we are going to see the third type, that is absolute value function. Okay, if you come to page number, if you have the book in front of you, you can come to page number 224. You will see the heading exponential, logarithmic and absolute value function. The first two we have already learned. So now it is the turn of absolute value function, which you will see in page number 234, question number 12. Okay, so what they have asked, in every function we need to be able to find out actually three or four things. Number one, we need to find out the inverse function. We need to be able to draw the graph. We need to be able to find the domain and range. So if you know these four things for all the functions, then alhamdulillah you are covered. Okay, Acha. So sketch the graph mentioning domain and range. Okay, so here they didn't ask us to find out the inverse function, right? So for such cases we don't need to find the inverse function. Here we only need to find out the domain and range, and we have to draw the graph. Okay, so let us see how we can do. Drawing the graph is easy. Just make the table and you're done. And another good news is, for absolute value function, finding out the domain and range is very easy, because the domain is already mentioned in the question itself. You will see that in the question they have mentioned 12.1. Let us solve 12.1. Okay, they have told f of x is equal to absolute value of x when minus 5 to plus 5. So we know that domain of a function is the restriction on the value of x. They have already told us what is the restriction on the value of x. So this is the domain. Okay, if you want, right at the beginning of the question you can write, okay, domain of f of x is equal to, you can write it in various ways, as I have already showed you in the last class. You can write it in this way. Now what does this mean? The value of x can be any value between minus 5 and plus 5, including minus 5 and plus 5. That means, as I have used third bracket, that means they are included. Means x can be equal to minus 5, x can be equal to plus 5. I have already discussed this in detail, so I'm not going to spend much time on this today. Okay, so you can write it in this way, or if you want, you can write it in this way, that x belongs to real number, means x can be any real number, given that or such that it has to be maintaining this condition. Okay, so out of any of these two you can write. Okay, no problem. So domain we found out easily. What about the range? Before we find out the range, we have to form the table to draw the graph. Okay, so range এর জন্য এদিকে একটু আমরা জায়গা খালি রাখি, ঠিক আছে? range of f of x কি হবে, আমরা এটা জায়গা খালি রেখে আমরা টেবিলটা আগে একটু ফর্ম করে ফেলবো. So table will be like this. Acha, now I hope you know what does absolute value mean, right? What does absolute value mean? Like if we have 3, the absolute value 3 is 3. If we have minus 3, the absolute value of minus 3 is also 3. Now why it is like that? আমরা ভাষায় আছে এটা না চাইলেও দিতে হবে, I feel. Okay, so let us continue. So to find out the range, আচ্ছা যেটা বলতেছিলাম, এই যে কেন -3 এর absolute value 3, what does absolute value mean, সেটা আমরা একটু বোঝার চেষ্টা করি. যেমন মনে করো, on the number line it is 0, let us say 3 is here and 3 is here, it is 2, it is 1, minus 1, 2. So if I ask you where is 3, you will circle this point. What is the distance of 3 from 0? What is the distance from 0 to 3? 3, right? The distance is 3. If I ask you where is minus 3, you will circle this point. And then if I ask you what is the distance from 0, now distance is never negative, right? So what is the distance? Again, 3, right? So this is the absolute value. What is the distance? What is the magnitude? Okay, you are covering. Then what is the function of minus? The function of minus is determining the direction. Whenever I tell you that move plus 3, you will move. The plus denotes I am telling you to move in the rightward direction. But how much you will move? You will move 3. If I tell you move minus 3, you will still move 3, but now the direction is changed. So the minus, the function of minus is denoting the direction, in which direction you need to go. That is the function of minus, the sign, okay? But what is the magnitude? If I ask you, that is 3 only. So that is the absolute value, okay? Whenever we do not care about the direction, I do not care in which direction you move. I care about how much you have moved. So you have moved in 3, right? You have moved 3 unit, okay? So that is why the absolute value is 3. So like that, you know, they have told us that x we will start taking from minus 5. So if I put minus 5 here, I will get 5. If I put minus 4 here, I will put 4. I will get 4. Then minus 3, 3. Minus 2, 2. Then minus 1, 1. Then if I put 0, it will be 0. Then 1, 1. 1 to the power 1 years back. So you will continue. Okay, you will continue up to 5. Okay, so 2 as by 3 as by 4 as by then 5. Okay, so now from here we can actually get the range. Okay, so what is the minimum value of y? What is the minimum value of y?
5.
5 is the minimum value. Minimum means the lowest. 5 is the lowest.
0. Oh, okay. 0.
The minimum value is 0. That means it will start from 0. Now tell me what is the maximum value?
5.
5. This is the range. Or if you want to write it this way, you can write it. You know already, right? If you want, I can show you. Okay, so as I always tell you that what is the range? Range is the restriction on the value of y. Actually, it's better to write it this way. Okay, avoid this one. Okay, so we understood how to find out the domain and range for absolute value function. It is easier, right? You see the domain is already given in the question. For other question also, there is some condition given. So you can find out a domain from here. Then the range you can find out from the table. The minimum value and the maximum value you can put as limit. And now the next step that is left, drawing the graph. Drawing the graph is easy. You will put these points in the graph. Okay. So let us point. একটা আমি ফুল করে দেখাই দিই, দেন বাকিগুলো তোমরা বাসায় ট্রাই করবা, না পারলে ইনশাআল্লাহ পরের ক্লাসে আমি এগুলো করব। ওকে, so here x have both negative value and positive value, but y it has only positive value. That is why y এর নিচের দিকে, y এর নেগেটিভ ভ্যালুর দিকে জায়গা আমরা রাখি নাই, y এর উপরের দিকে জায়গা রাখছি। আবার x অ্যাক্সিস এর তুমি দেখো পজিটিভ দিকেও জায়গা আছে, নেগেটিভ দিকেও জায়গা আছে। তো 1 2 3 4 5 Okay, now let us plot the values. Minus 5 comma 5, minus 5 plus 5, so this will be 1 point. Okay, this will be 1 point. Then -4 এর জন্য +4, -3 এর জন্য +3, পয়েন্ট, আর 0 এর জন্য 0। তো একটা লাইন এরকম আসে এবং বোঝাই যাচ্ছে যে আবার 1 এর জন্য 1, 2 এর জন্য 2, তার মানে হচ্ছে 1 এর জন্য 1 এখানে, 2 এর জন্য 2 এখানে, 3 এর জন্য 3 এখানে, 4 এর জন্য and 5. So it will be another line like this. Okay, so it will be a V-shaped graph. So kindly go through this number 12 also, and let me know if you have any doubt. Okay, and inshallah tomorrow we will discuss about the creative, that is 13, 14 and 15. যেগুলা তোমাদের জন্য একটু ডিফিকাল্ট হইতে পারে বলে মনে হবে, ইনশাআল্লাহ সেগুলো আমি সলভ করে দেব। ঠিক আছে, তো আশা করি কালকে আমরা এই চ্যাপ্টারটা শেষ করে ফেলতে পারবো। আর তোমাদের যতটুকু 12 পর্যন্ত অবশ্যই সবাই বাছাই করবা, এবং যদি কোনো ডাউট থাকে তাহলে পরের ক্লাসে আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবা। ইজ দ্যাট ক্লিয়ার?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we hope if you cooperate, okay, your cooperation is needed if I want to proceed, and if I cannot proceed, then please remember it's your loss only, okay, because I want to finish this. Okay, see you in the next class, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please everyone do the homework seriously, okay, and in case of any difficulty and doubt, let write in the group, okay, write in the group.